North Korean leader Kim Jong-un called for an exponential increase in the number of his country's nuclear warheads and the development of a more powerful intercontinental ballistic missile on Sunday. According to state media, as the East Asian nation tested a ballistic missile toward the sea to the east of the Korean peninsula in the early hours of the new year, continuing a trend that saw a record number of testing activities in 2022. Kim's actions are consistent with the overall trajectory of his nuclear program. He has frequently threatened to increase both the quality and quantity of his weapons in order to deal with what he refers to as US aggression. According to some observers, Kim's determination to build more nuclear and other weapons suggests his aim to conduct a series of weapons tests in order to consolidate his future negotiation power and gain bigger foreign concessions. They are now determined to isolate and suffocate in ways unprecedented in human history. The current scenario necessitates redoubling measures to massively beef up military muscle, according to the official Korean Central News Agency. Kim stated this at a just concluded major governing party conference. During the six-day meeting, Kim asked for an exponential increase in the country's nuclear arsenal in order to mass-build tactical battlefield nuclear weapons aimed against South Korea. He also presented a task to create a new ICBM mission with a quick nuclear counter-strike capability, a weapon he would like to use to strike the mainland United States. He stated that the North's first military reconnaissance satellite will be launched as soon as possible, according to KNR. Kim's remarks from the party meeting sound like a lofty, but potentially achievable, list of New Year's resolutions. It's ambitious in the sense that Kim actively chose to spell out what he intends to accomplish as we approach 2023, but it also reflects Kim's confidence. Soo Kim, a security analyst at the Rand Corporation in California, agreed. North Korea announced last month that it had completed major tests for the construction of a new strategic weapon, most likely a solid-fueled ICBM and a spy satellite. Kim's identification of South Korea as an enemy, as well as the mention of hostile US and South Korean policies, provides a reliable pretext for the regime to produce more missiles and weapons in order to solidify Kim's negotiating position and concretize North Korea's status as a nuclear power, Soo Kim said. Later that day, South Korea's defense ministry reaffirmed its warning that any effort by North Korea to deploy nuclear weapons would result in the demise of the Kim Jong-un dictatorship. Similar warnings have already been issued by the US military. The new year has begun, but our security situation remains dire. Our military must punish any provocation by the enemy with such zeal that we are willing to risk fighting a conflict during a video conference, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol urged top military officials. Senior diplomats from South Korea, the United States, and Japan spoke by phone and concluded that North Korean provocations would only deepen the country's international isolation and prompt trilateral security cooperation. According to the South Korean Foreign Ministry, they have maintained that the door to discussion with North Korea remains open. Since his high-stakes meeting with then-President Donald Trump fell in 2019 owing to disagreements over US-led sanctions, Kim Jong-un has refused to resume discussions with Washington and increased his arsenal. According to some analysts, Kim would eventually like to establish North Korea as a legitimate nuclear power in order to achieve the removal of international sanctions and the cessation of regular US-South Korean military games, which he sees as major security threats. During his 2018 New Year's speech, first ordered mass production of warheads and ballistic missiles, and he's doubling down on that quantitative expansion target in the coming year, said Ankit Panda, a Carnegie Endowment for International Peace specialist. Panda believes the allusion to a new ICBM is referring to a solid propellant system that could be tested soon. He stated that a satellite launch could occur in April, which coincides with a significant state anniversary. Concerns about North Korea's nuclear program have intensified since the North passed a new legislation last year authorizing the use of nuclear weapons in a variety of situations and openly vowed to use its nuclear weapons first. Kim reiterated that warning at last week's party meeting. South Korean military detected a short-range ballistic missile launched from the North's capital region earlier on Sunday. According to the report, the missile flew approximately 400 kilometers before landing in waters between the Korean peninsula and Japan. The United States Indo-Pacific Command stated that the United States' obligations to defend South Korea and Japan remain unwavering. Last year, North Korea conducted over 70 missile tests, including 3 short-range ballistic missiles spotted by South Korea on Saturday. The testing frenzy suggests that Korea is emboldened by its advanced nuclear program. According to observers, the North was also allowed to continue its prohibited missile launches because China and Russia prevented the United States and others from toughening UN sanctions in the Security Council. On Sunday, the PNA stated that the Korea tested its super-large multiple rocket launcher on Saturday and Sunday. According to PNA, Kim Jong-un stated that the rocket launcher puts all of South Korea within striking distance and is capable of carrying a tactical nuclear bomb. Its recent missile launches were unimpressive in terms of technology. Instead, the large number of tests conducted at atypical times and from varied locations suggest that North Korea is capable of launching numerous types of attacks at any time and from any direction. Professor Ferric Easley of your university in Seoul agreed. Animosities between the rival Koreas have escalated since early last week, when South Korea accused North Korea of flying drones across their heavily fortified border for the first time in 5 years, prompting the North to reply with its own drones.